Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at the $2 million retirement, specifically time versus money. It kind of feels like a Hollywood-style mystery, right? Like, what does it actually take to build a $2 million retirement portfolio? Well, let's break down the exact path to get there.
Okay, let's dive into this right away. How long does it actually take to reach that $2 million mark? Most people assume it's just completely impossible for a normal person. They imagine you got to earn this massive $1 million a year salary, or maybe you need to get lucky and win the lottery, or I don't know, build the next Apple in your garage. But honestly, based on the research, the truth is much, much more surprising. You literally don't need any of those extreme scenarios.
Here is what it actually requires. The secret weapon isn't a massive inheritance. It's not some sudden, huge burst of income. The secret weapon is, simply, patience. Seriously, the surprising truth about building real wealth relies almost entirely on consistency. It's just about consistently putting your money into low-cost index funds like the ones tracking the S&P 500 over a long period of time. No wild stock picking required. Absolutely no gambling your life savings on some crazy, risky trend. It is just steady, unwavering patience. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. Let's look at three friends, Alex, Brian, and Chris. They all have the exact same investment strategy, consistent index funds. But check out their starting ages. Alex starts at 20, Brian waits until 30, and Chris waits until 40. Now, hit fast forward to their retirement. Alex finishes with nearly twice as much wealth as Brian, and Brian has way more than Chris. Why? Well, it's not because Alex was some kind of genius, and it's definitely not because he had a higher salary. It's entirely because time did the heavy lifting. The earlier you start, the less of your own money you actually have to put in. Let's anchor this math to reality for a second. Let's say your goal is exactly what we're talking about, $2 million by age 65. If you start young, like at age 20, you might only need to invest around $300 every single month to hit that exact target, assuming historical S&P 500 returns. Just a few $100. I mean, that's a car payment. That's skipping a few nights out and committing that cash to your future self instead. It's an incredibly approachable, realistic monthly calculation for someone just starting out in their career. But watch what happens if you wait. If you put this off for just 10 years, that monthly amount you need to invest, it nearly doubles. And if you wait another decade, delaying your start by 20 years total, suddenly you're looking at needing to invest thousands of dollars every single month to hit that exact same $2 million goal. Literally thousands. The contrast is absolutely jarring. Your goal hasn't changed at all, but the burden on your monthly paycheck has just skyrocketed. Every single year you delay starting, it becomes exponentially more expensive. Which brings us to this pretty devastating truth about wealth. The biggest cost isn't market crashes, it's procrastination. We spend so much time sweating over the stock market dipping, reading these crazy headlines about economic doom, that we just end up paralyzed. We do nothing. But the mathematical cost of delaying your investments year after year, that is vastly more destructive to your wealth than any bad year in the stock market. So the crucial point is understanding what you're actually fighting against. It's not just procrastination, it's the invisible enemy of inflation. $1 million today simply will not buy what $1 million buys 30 years from now. Everything gets more expensive over time. The cost of food goes up, healthcare, housing, travel, even your morning cup of coffee. The price tag on life steadily increases, quietly eating away at the actual value of your money. And because of that invisible enemy, we arrive at this brutal reality. If you're just saving cash, you're actually getting poorer. Crazy, right? It sounds completely counterintuitive. You look at your bank account, you see the balance going up, and you feel secure. But honestly, it's an illusion. If your money isn't invested in growing faster than inflation, your purchasing power is literally vanishing into thin air. A big bank balance just sitting in cash is silently losing its value every single day. So why do millions of Americans still struggle financially after retirement? Well, because they make the exact same mistakes over and over again. They wait too long to start, and we just saw how deadly that is. They spend everything they earn. They finance expensive cars that just plummet in value. They upgrade their lifestyle the second they get a raise at work. They panic and sell their investments whenever the stock market has a hiccup. And above all, they completely ignore the power of compound interest. Let me be super clear here. Wealth is rarely destroyed overnight. It's destroyed slowly by thousands of these tiny, bad financial decisions. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the difference between struggling and succeeding usually comes down to your wealth-building psychology. A poor mindset looks at a purchase and asks, how can I afford this today? Can I squeeze out the monthly payment? But the wealthy mindset, it is entirely focused on the long game. They're asking, how will this financial decision affect me 20 years from now? It is the ultimate battle between short-term consumption and long-term thinking. And this mindset completely dictates your behaviors. The poor mindset chases status. It buys liabilities, things that actively take money out of your pocket. The wealthy mindset builds assets. It buys passive, income-producing investments, things that put money into your pocket. The poor mindset simply works for money, while the wealthy mindset builds systems where their money goes to work for them. This one single shift in perspective, going from a consumer to a long-term investor, is what changes the entire trajectory of a person's life. Let's take a breath for a second and do a quick reality check. I want you to literally picture yourself at age 65. You made those consistent investments. You avoided all those big mistakes we talked about. Imagine waking up with absolutely no debt. Zero financial stress hanging over your head. Your investments are just sitting there, quietly continuing to generate income for you. It's happening while you sleep, while you travel the world, or while you're just having a quiet afternoon with your family. You're no longer working because you have to. You're only working if you want to. And that is the true definition of financial freedom. We really need to reframe what the promised land actually looks like. Financial freedom isn't about buying luxury sports cars or flying around on private jets. It's so much simpler and, honestly, so much more profound than that. Freedom just means having the power to choose exactly how you spend your time. It means your passive income has officially bought back the hours of your life. As we wrap up this explainer today, keep these ultimate truths in mind. Most people don't fail because they have low salaries. They fail simply because they wait too long to start. Every single millionaire investor out there had to make their very first investment. Was it perfect? Probably not. Was it huge? Nope. But they started. And yeah, sure, the absolute best time to start investing was 20 years ago. But the second best time is today, like right now. So I actually want to ask you directly, if your future 65-year-old self could send you just one single message right now, today, what do you think they'd say to you? Would they tell you to go buy that expensive car, or would they beg you to start investing? I genuinely want to know. Think about it for a second and share your answer down in the comments below. And we're going to end on this final, incredibly powerful thought. The best investment isn't money, it's time. That is the core takeaway of everything we've explored today. Time is the one asset you can never, ever get back. And it's the absolute most powerful tool you have to build a practical retirement roadmap. If this explainer changed the way you think about money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Because every single week, we're here breaking down these crucial financial lessons that schools just never bothered to teach you. And your future self is going to absolutely thank you for it. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.